I scaled my agency to about $500,000 a month in revenue in under 11 months. And when we saw UpHex, I literally went into my office and I went to my employees and I was like, everybody stop what you're doing right now. Stop what you're doing right now. Everybody look at this video. And I showed everybody UpHex. And from that day moving forward, again, we were at $500,000 a month in revenue. From that day moving forward, we pivoted to a SaaS.
So perfect. So yeah, so Alex has been an UpHex user since for a little bit now, and he's been growing his agency really quick. So we wanted to bring Alex on here to answer your guys' questions on how he's doing it, and just kind of go over with whatever you guys need. I'm going to be stepping out here. Oh, there's Sam.
On vacation.
So much for coming back later today. I'm mistaken. He's clearly still stuck in Hawaii. So
living the good life.
What's up, everybody? Alex, you're the man for doing this, buddy. Appreciate it. Want to come in and say hello. Well, want to say aloha, right?
Right.
And come in and just join up for your call, buddy.
Awesome. So,
well, Alex, I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to make you the host.
Okay.
Real quick. So you should get a notification on Zoom that you're now the host.
Got it.
And then you'll be able to see everything and take it from there. I'm going to be on here for about the first 5 minutes, and then I've got to jump off.
Yeah, no worries.
That'll be all you.
All right, guys. So, thanks for the introduction. My name's Alex Machucha. I've been an UpHex user since November, but I've owned an agency for about 3 years. And just to kind of give you guys an idea of the type of impact a product like UpHex is, you know, I scaled my agency to about $500,000 a month in revenue in under 11 months. And when we saw UpHex, I literally went into my office and I went to my employees and I was like, everybody stop what you're doing right now. Stop what you're doing right now. Everybody look at this video. And I showed everybody UpHex. And from that day moving forward, again, we were at $500,000 a month in revenue. From that day moving forward, we pivoted to a SaaS. And there's a bunch of reasons why we did that. Number one, when you run an agency, let's say I'm at 70K monthly recurring revenue for an agency. With a SaaS, that is the equivalent to about 30K monthly recurring revenue because you have to worry about net margins. With an agency, when somebody gives me money, well, I have to redistribute that money to Facebook ads, right? I have to pay that. I have to pay all the overhead expenses. So we pivoted to a SaaS and we launched it in November. And right now we have about 55 clients. So we can talk about two things today. One is agencies, which I have a lot of experience in. And the second thing is SaaS, right? Because I think there's a combination of two different types of people in this community. And I'll make sure that I get all of your questions answered. Because I know this is Ask Me Anything, right? So you know, I can, if you guys want, and if you guys have any specific questions or anything that you're struggling with in particular right now, can you do me a favor and put it in the chat? Just type it in the chat. This way we have some talking points that we can move around, and I'll make sure that I can answer all of your questions. And I won't leave until I get, you know, everybody's questions answered. So that would be very helpful for me. If you guys can just put anything that you're struggling with or anything that you want to know, put it in the chat. And this way, you know, I can move through each question. We can use that as a foundational talking point. Now I see Pablo typing, so I appreciate that, Pablo. Do I find it? All right, let's see. So the first question is Chris. Do you find it hard to get loan agents in these times due to the market? Yes and no. So for my agency, and this is another reason why we pivoted to SaaS, we used to charge $4,000 to $6,000 a month for our lead generation service. And when we started doing that and the housing market took a turn for the worse, people abruptly stopped buying our lead gen services, right? And when you have a company that's doing $500,000 a month in revenue, the overhead expenses begin to become more than the income that's coming into the business when sales abruptly stop. So the answer to your question is yes. However, when we pivoted to a SaaS, now we were able to charge way less money. For example, I charge $150 a month, super, super low ticket, but also super, super, super sticky. We call it forget you money, right? Nobody really cares about $150 a month payment. I actually was mortified when I looked at, those apps that show you how much money that how much money you're spending in subscriptions. I looked it up the other day. I was like, holy crap, like this has been running for a year, like this $97 a month subscription. I had I had 2 ESPN Plus accounts. I had 2 Apple accounts. Like it was ridiculous, right? Because what would happen is I'd look at the TV and like not want to log in and be like, I'll just buy a new one and take care of it later. And then I'd forget. So to answer your question, if you are in the process of choosing a niche right now, I would stay away from mortgage or real estate. I'm already in it, right? Like I was able to grow my SaaS because I had a database of 9,000 mortgage brokers and real estate agents to harvest from. Now, for you or somebody who's just jumping in, there's way better industries to get into that are way more secure. The other problem is this. Another reason we switched from an agency to a SaaS is because mortgage is highly regulated. You need a license to sell leads in every state. And now with NMLS 2.0, they're going to be even more strict and they're going to come after you. I got Michigan came after me once, and we didn't have a license in Michigan, but we just happened to be not servicing people in Michigan. It was like from an old client. And anyways, we got out of it, which was nice. But if we didn't get out of it, we could have gotten fined a minimum of $50,000, right? And they're going to be more and more strict. So I personally would not get in the mortgage game right now. I would use a different client or a different type of client, like something that is not going to be affected in the recession, something that is not as unstable. Because remember, during the refinance boom, I mean, it was crazy. We had crazy growth, and then it just like abruptly stopped. The housing market takes no prisoners, right? So just keep that in mind. Now, Gemma asked, is it best to use UpHex as do-it-yourself or done for you? Can't decide which way I'm going with my agency. I love do-it-yourself, but it's more work up front. So for example, when I sell my SaaS, I don't just sell my SaaS, I sell a course that coincides with it. Let me show you guys something really, really cool though, that will help you, because Mandy asked, how do you onboard? And I actually just came across this really, really cool tool. It's amazing. I actually just before this call, about 20 minutes ago, I texted Sam and I said, hey man, you got to show everybody this because it's amazing. Hold on just a minute. I'm trying to find the video. 020K a month, SMMA. Let me see what I can find here. Give me a second. Where are you? I promise this will be worth it, guys. It's really awesome. Or you know what I can do? Run on Motion. It's a collection of building blocks, text, images, tables. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to work on finding that. I'm going to get to the next question, but then I'm going to show you guys a really cool tool that you guys can use to onboard your clients. It's built into workflow. So in GHL, basically, when they log in, they'll have a column on the left, and it'll be a to-do list that will literally walk them through setting up their Go High Level. For now, what we have is a course that walks them through it, but it'll be sweet. I just got to find the YouTube. It was texted to me. So I think it's Thomas Garnett is this guy's name. And giveaway. Let me see. Yeah, I will find this and I will put it in the Facebook group for everybody. Don't worry. Okay. Yandy asks, how can we let the user choose the ad media from the template? I have about 10 different images. And when they click the option for ad media template, it creates more. I don't know, Yandy, that's more of a technical question. to which,
I can answer that real quick.
You'll be able. Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
Jacob will be able to answer that.
So by default, when you launch campaigns in UpHex, it's going to use the first 4 images that are uploaded, and that's how it's going to publish out onto Facebook. If you've got more than 4, and we actually encourage you guys to do more than 4 images, we are having an optimization engine that we're working on in the background. We got so many little projects going on right now, but we do have an optimization engine that we're working on in the background. So if you upload more than 4 images, what our system will eventually start doing is when it recognizes, hey, this ad creative isn't performing, it's going to automatically turn it off and then load the next image that you guys have in line. So by default, it's going to pick the first 4. If you want your clients to be able to select the images, you can upload them instead into the client library. So if you go into a specific client, there's a library where you can upload images in there, and then your clients can actually pick which images they want to run for their Facebook campaign.
Awesome. Yeah, because I was trying to do at first dynamic creatives, but I think Sam told me that you guys don't have that, or I don't know if it's something for the future.
So it's possibly in the future. Part of it is I have a love-hate relationship with dynamic Facebook ads. Like, it works really, really well if you're going to do stuff with like e-commerce and things like that. Where it becomes more of an issue is in local lead gen, because you're giving up a lot of information that Facebook isn't going to get back to you, right? For local lead gen stuff. So you don't know what pictures are working, what ad copy specifically working, that kind of stuff with dynamic creatives. So like it depends. Like if you're running a big national campaign, dynamic creatives make sense. If you're doing local stuff, dynamic creatives usually actually shoot you in the foot, because now you're not able to be as nimble with adjusting your copy and stuff. You're trusting the Facebook algorithm to do things, and most local campaigns don't give the algorithm enough data for it to actually optimize properly.
I see. Thank you.
Okay. So, what's your client's journey from paying to launching their first ad? That depends on that. Are you talking about relative to a SaaS or relative to an agency? If you could answer that question, I will give you an answer to that question. So for SaaS, there's a really cool onboarding tool. So what I do is I will have, the software, right? And they'll get an email for their login and username. But I also send them a login and username to a course that walks them through setting all of this up themselves. So like when you talk about GHL and like setting up your business and your custom values, your first name, last name, phone number, address, all the information that GHL needs, I have a course that I sell side by side with the software to walk them through setting this up themselves. Because with a SaaS, it's really about how quickly can we get them to that aha moment. And this goes across, it doesn't matter what sector you're in, right? The whole idea of a SaaS is this. When you spend money with a lead generation company, your marketing dollars are diluted automatically. It's just the nature of the business, right? So let's say I'm a lead generation company. You give me $2,000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take $1,000. I'm going to give it to my employees. I'm going to pay my office space, my rent, my tools. And then I'm going to take that leftover $1,000 and I'm going to give it right to Facebook, right? This is what you should be saying to your prospect. So they're like, oh yeah. So that means you spend $2,000 to get $1,000 worth of leads. Well, that's just the name of the game. That is just the cost of doing business with the lead gen company, because the lead gen company has a bunch of overhead expenses that you have to pay for, right? But with a SaaS, you say, why would you pay somebody thousands of dollars to do the same thing that you can do with just a few clicks of a button, right? And it kind of a light bulb goes off in their head, right? So when you're running a SaaS, it's different than an agency, because with an agency, it's an ongoing support role. There's ups, there's downs. You got to have one-on-one calls with people. It is, trust me, I've ran an agency, a successful agency. It's a pain in the ass. It's not fun. You can have the best agency in the world. People are going to be pissed at you. People are going to hate you. You're going to service people and they're going to give you a bad review. Like, that's just the name of the game when it comes to agencies. You can't make everybody happy, and there's no guarantees in marketing, period. There's none. The reason I like SaaS is because it takes the onus off you and puts it on them. And they are typically going to get better results in SaaS, because this time, instead of only 50% of the money that they spend with the lead gen company going directly into generating them leads, now they will have 95% of their dollars going directly into generating them leads. They're cutting out the middleman. So now they're going to get exponentially more bang for their buck, right? And that's my selling point in SaaS. I'm like, hey, look, the money that you're spending right now, like paying for lead gen services in this market is like paying $10,000 for a plane ticket to just to fly to the next town over. Like, it's a luxury in a market. Like, we're about to be in a recession, right? Lead generation is a luxury service in a market where we can't afford luxuries. That's my opinion. Now, I'm not saying, hey, guys, give up on your dreams and don't start a lead gen agency. Lead gen agencies are very lucrative and they're quick. You can grow them quickly. Like, I grew to 50K a month in 90 days. So we were at 50K a month in 90 days. Then we hit 100K a month in 8 months. And then 2 months after that, we hit $500,000 a month. So there's certainly a market out there. And you know, granted, it was a different time back then. But in my opinion, I think you can get better results with SaaS. It's easier to manage, right? Because it's a do-it-yourself. So in my opinion, it's easier to build. But I would have never been able to build a SaaS without all the lessons that I learned growing my agency. Does anybody have any? And by the way, guys, if you do have a question, I don't know if you guys have the raise your hand option. I know I do on my webinars. But if you have a question or you want to come up, like, I can unmute you. And I know Pablo, you had a question before, so we can start with you and we could just work our way down. Does that sound good? I'm asking to unmute you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's up, brother?
Yeah. What's up? So as I said before, I come from the SMMA world. So I kind of guarantee results for my clients. And I had 2 clients and they I lost them because I didn't give them the results. So I had to pay the media buyers and all this stuff. So what I want to do now. So it was Google ads and Facebook ads for e-commerces.
Okay, that's your problem.
Yeah.
When I ask what your offer is, you said Google ads and Facebook. Your offer needs to be very specific. What are you giving them? Are you giving them a certain amount of leads, a certain amount of appointments, right? What is that?
So it was 1,500 for ROAS 2 minimum or money back. Okay.
Never tie money to a result, right? You can't say, hey, $1,500 and then you will get and then I'll pay you back $3,000. Like, never do that. That'll get you in a lot of trouble. You need to talk about deliverables that, so for example, our offer, and listen, guys, if you are stuck at the offer standpoint, you're not sure what to offer, buy this book. It's 99 cents on Amazon. It's called $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. It's an easy read. You can get through it in an hour, but it will complete, like, it's one of the best books that I've ever read. There you go. There you go. Yandy. Yes. So it's one of the best books that I've ever read. And Alex Hormozi is a good friend of mine. You know, we were in, I remember when he was writing that book, we went to dinner in Denver, and man, that book is incredible. It's a really, really good book. Highly suggest that you read it. Anybody reads it. Anybody could learn from it, no matter where you are in your agency. But so what you need to do is you need to figure out, what are my deliverables? So for example, my deliverables when I started my agency was 90 appointments in 90 days. Okay. Now, that's a really freaking hard deliverable to hit. And it's funny. Alex Hormozi says, make an offer that's so ridiculous that people would feel stupid saying no. Right. And then what you do is you strip down that offer. What's been hard to deliver? So for example, when I started my agency, my my deliverables were 90 appointments in 90 days. By the end of my agency, my deliverables were 60 appointments over the course of 180 days. See how that works? So we started high and then we stripped down the offer, right? Strip down what the hard parts were to deliver. Well, 90 appointments is hard to deliver. Let's knock it down to 75. 75 was hard. Let's knock it down to 60. All right. 60 is kind of hard to do in 90 days. Let's make the contract 6 months. Right. So it gives us more time, right? There's something called there's and he talks about this in the book. There's solutions over psychological solutions over logical solutions, right? So he tells this story, and this is something that all of you guys can apply, because in a lot of cases, when you have issues with your agency, the solution is not always a logical one, right? So, for example, there was this train in England. He talks about this in the story. There's this train in England, and it had a really low ride passenger score, right? Like really, really bad reviews. And people would say it's long, it's boring, it's slow. So the logical solution to that would be, all right, let's fix the engine, right? Let's spend millions of dollars fixing the engine and just make this train go faster. The psychological solution that they did was they put a map on the train that shows them how far along and all of the stops along the way, all of the destinations along the way. When they implemented this map, rider scores shot up. They started enjoying it more, right? That's a psychological solution, right? So for us, we're having trouble delivering our appointments. Instead of making it less appointments, we were like, why don't we just extend the time horizon on which we deliver those appointments? That's a psychological solution, right? So with a lot of, if you're thinking that way, you're going to be able to solve a lot of those problems. Now, for you specifically, Pablo, you need to really hone down your offer. It can't be, I'll do Facebook ads and you'll get an ROI of this. That's dangerous. There's no guarantees in marketing, right? And there's no guarantee that your customer is going to be capable of closing any deals, right? So you're taking a big risk, because marketing is only 50% of it. You're bringing them to the door. That doesn't mean the guy that's your customer has the ability to close them, right? And you're basically saying, not only will I do my job, but I'll do your job too. It sets you up for disaster, right? I assume you had to refund those guys. Yeah, that sucks, right? Like, you don't want to do that. I used to have an offer that was like, hey, if we don't get you 90 appointments, we'll give you your money back. And I remember this one time we got this guy 59 appointments and he asked for his money back. We were short one appointment. Like, people are dicks, man, and they'll take advantage of you. You need to set the proper expectations with them and say, hey, look, I can bring these guys to the door. What's your close percentage? And they'll tell you, oh, and this is what they all say, man. They all, oh, dude, I'm the best salesman in the world. Like, if you bring them to me, man, I'll close 100% or I'll close 50%. I want them to say that shit to me so I can bring it up when they're not doing it. And it's on them, not me, right? Never, ever, ever guarantee money as a result, ever. Never say you will make X, you will make X. You can say, well, you told me that you closed 20% and the average deal is $3,000. And if we get you 10, that's 2 deals. So you make $6,000 off this $1,500 investment. It's always good to reverse engineer the math on probabilities, but never guarantee a monetary result, ever. That's a big mistake.
I want to try the solar niche here in Spain. This is pretty new. And I don't really know how to do it. Like, I don't know what offer. I don't know what to.
If you're going to do solar, then, and if you want a guarantee, then I would just guarantee them a certain amount of leads or a certain amount of appointments, right? That's what you're going to guarantee, but never, ever guarantee and say, oh, for this $1,500 payment, I'll get you 3 times ROAS, because that's offering them a money guarantee. And there's no guarantees in marketing, right? And the problem is you're spending $1,500. You're probably out money because you probably put money in the ad spend too, right? I assume.
No, I mean, it was their money.
Their money, okay. And they don't get that refunded. They just got the $1,500 refunded. Yeah. Well, it's still, you're still at a loss because you wasted your time and your effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
So never, you want to stay away from any money guarantees, period, because you cannot control their ability to close.
Yeah. So how do I know that number? Like the leads that I can get them?
Well, what's your average cost per lead for solar?
Yeah, I
Have you
still
tried
don't
it?
know. I still don't know.
Okay. Do we have anybody in this chat that's doing solar right now? Anybody at all? Okay, Luis, what is the average cost per lead for your solar leads?
It depends on the area.
Depends on the area.
Geographically.
Okay. Well, can you give me a range from the least expensive to the most expensive?
So if it's just the ad spend portion, Louisiana right
ad
now
spend.
is the lowest at around $20 a lead, and this is on Google and YouTube. And you can go all the way to like New Jersey and Illinois that are probably at $100, maybe a little bit higher.
Okay, I think that you'll be able to get cheaper ones on Facebook. Just some
Yeah,
food for
Facebook
thought.
is definitely cheaper. Facebook, you should be at less than $50 in most places.
Okay,
and typically $20.
Yeah. Okay. So there's your answer, Pablo, right? $20 a lead, right? So I would even say give yourself a buffer and just assume that it's $25 a lead. So you could say for $1,000 in ad spend, we can get you anywhere between 30 and 40 leads, because now you're being way safer. Not only so what I did was I took $1,000. He's saying the average is 20. Let's give ourselves a little buffer for 25, right? Because that's $5 per lead. So that begins to be a bigger buffer over time, right? So that's about 40 leads. And then we're going to say we can get you 30 to 40 leads a month for $1,000 in ad spend, right? That's what you're going now, whatever price you're going to charge on top of that to manage them. That's great. There's a lot of different things that you can do with Go High Level. You can set up a funnel so it books appointments for them. You can hire an ISA to call these leads and book appointments for them. There's different things that you can do. Now, by adding an ISA, an appointment is much more expensive than a lead. You could charge a lot. You can charge $125, $150 an appointment, right? And if it only costs you, $50, well, now you're making a bigger profit, right? So, test some things. And the other thing that you can do is just call somebody and be like, hey, listen, I'll do this work for free. All you need to do is pay for the ad spend. I just want to see what the cost per lead is, right? Or don't even say I want to see what the cost per lead is, because he's going to be like, well, I don't want to be your guinea pig. But say, hey, I'll do it for free. And if it works out well, then you can take me on as a customer. I'm willing, you know what I mean? And that'll help you get some information. Yeah. Luis, to answer your question, is there a good third-party ISA? Yes, I'm about to tell you all a cheat code.
Hey,
go ahead, Sam.
Alex, real quick, buddy. Can I jump in and just put a little pin on the end of your answer there? It is, I 100% could not agree with Alex more. Like, people who guarantee money, it's almost like you're going to get not always, but you're going to get the bottom of the barrel clients that look for that one thing, right? And if they close because of that one thing, you're going to end up getting the kind of people that are looking for an escape hatch, okay? What I do, I never associate, just like Alex said, I never associate any of my sales calls, offers, anything in writing with a monetary result. I never do that. But what I do, in fact, it's one of the big points in my webinar when I get clients, is I talk about and I distinguish the difference between a lead and a qualified lead, right? And, I mean, basically I just say, hey, if you guys want leads, I can, and people in the UpHex group ask the same thing. Well, how come I had one guy on a video I did look at my ad costs. He's like, well, how come the leads are so expensive? Well, first of all, there's 150 templates there. Sorry about that, guys. There's 150 templates there. If I want a lead to be $5, I know how to make it $5.
Right.
Give away the farm, right? I could go into Groupon right now today.
Or ask less qualifying questions too.
And yeah, I could go into Groupon today, and there's a library of offers there that they will get me sales easily. Just copy them and put them on. But that's not what we're doing. If you're in high ticket, so solar, for example, what I sell in my niche is qualified leads. And I make sure that they understand, like, I don't let that ship sail by them in the night. I make sure they understand what is the difference between a lead that they've been getting in the past and a qualified lead, right? And that to me is like, if you're talking to the right person. Now, here's the other cool thing. You're talking to the right person, though, that's a tuning fork. They're like, whoa, you're right. I've been getting leads and people have made me guarantees already, but all I'm getting is this bull crap. Well, I get qualified leads. I'm asking very specific questions. I'm filtering people. Wouldn't you rather pay more and just get somebody who's actually, down your sales funnel in terms of their qualities before you ever start talking to them? And so I just bang the gong on qualified leads. And in fact, on the UpHex YouTube channel, there's a video that says lead quality is a myth, which it is. Okay. Anybody that comes in and looks at lead cost or lead quality is asking a very incomplete question. It's like, well, you're just asking, like, what is your question here? How is the lead quality? Well, that's an unanswerable question, because lead quality is a myth. When I say that, no lead, for the most part, is going to sign up cold, pay you, convert to a solar package right there online, unless they've already talked to somebody, marketing and sales, they're cousins, but they don't necessarily sleep together, right? You got to make sure that you understand their relationship. Anyway, so going back to Pablo, and putting a nice, I thought Alex's answer was good, but qualified leads, bro. Leads that have already answered or passed a couple of benchmarks. And Alex is going to talk about ISAs. Dude, you sell people that have already been teed up to sell. Oh my gosh, that's worth way more. Right. Way more. So anyway, sorry, Alex, I'll let you back to it.
No, that was good. Appreciate that. So what I did for ISAs was, there's different types of ISAs. Most people will get people from the Philippines, and because it's cheap labor. What I like to do is, I like to go after expat groups and offer Americans. So I'll go to expats living in Colombia or expats living in Brazil, places where there's a lower cost of living than in the US. And I'll find Americans because they're not going to have those same accents that people from the Philippines have, but they're also going to be working for less money. And they're usually excited about, the job over there. So that's a great way to do it, is just go into expat websites, and expat Colombia, expat Panama, expat Brazil. And they usually have Americans that live abroad. I like to hire them. You pay them about $1,200 a month. It's a little more expensive than having somebody in the Philippines, but the quality is also there because, listen, when you call people on the phone, sometimes if they have a Hispanic accent isn't bad, because there's a lot of Hispanics that live in the United States, especially in California and Texas. So they're used to that. But when they hear a Filipino accent or something, and look, there's nothing wrong with accents. You guys got to hear my dad. He's got the thickest accent in the entire world. I'm Ecuadorian. But when they when they hear an accent on the other end of the phone, a lot of times they'll think it's a scam and they'll hang up. It's just kind of human nature. So for me, I like to hire expats abroad. You get the best of both worlds. You get the low cost of labor, and then you also get the quality in the voice on the other end of the line. Yandy, how did you scale so quickly in 90 days? Instagram DMs. It's so funny. I've gotten so much flack for this online. I swear by it. Instagram DMs is the way that I scale. I think I scaled to about 75K a month doing just Instagram DMs. So for example, if you are in the solar niche, then I would look up solar meme pages. Okay? Solar meme pages. Who the hell is going to follow a solar meme page? Obviously, somebody who's in solar, right? Or an insurance broker. Go after insurance broker meme pages or real estate meme pages, right? And message their followers, because the only people that are going to follow a page like that are your target market. They're the people that you need, you know, that you're going to be going after. So can you change the, yeah, Sam, I just don't know how to do that. How would I, can you change the chat so everyone can comment?
Yeah.
To
So
everyone?
if you go to the chat,
Uh-huh.
and then I think there's a pop-up and it says, because right now I think one of the reasons people aren't, I don't know if they are, I can't tell.
Oh yeah, I'm getting direct. Oh, I see that it's direct message. It's coming to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, do it so everybody can do it. That way we can see whose questions are which.
Yeah.
Because
How do I do that?
there should be, when you click when you click the chat, there should be 3 bubbles. You click those, and then it just changes it to,
Here, I'll share my screen right here. Hold on. Oh no, that's not what I'm sharing. I wanted to
yeah. By
share.
the way, thanks for sending me that video.
Did
I'm
you
gonna
check
watch
that
it.
out at the 5-minute mark?
Well, I just started watching it
Dude,
when this call started, so I'm gonna jump on it once this gets done.
It's gonna change the game for everybody in here.
He's a
Everyone.
smart kid. I've seen him around.
All right, so I'm trying to like I have no idea where I'm going, Sam.
Well, I guess if you put the chat, you know, the little chat bubble there, or the chat icon, and you pull the chat up, oh man,
Which I did.
There should be a
Open.
there should be a
It
way
says
where you can just,
it says open in all meetings. There's a more button.
yeah, do more.
Uh-huh. It says lock meeting, enable waiting room. Yeah, there's no like chat options.
Really, on the chat bubble, that's what pops up.
Correct.
Okay. Well,
I clicked everyone for who can see your messages, but
okay. Well, then
here it is. Everyone and anyone directly. I think I might have done it. I hope I did.
Here, let me check. I can check for you. Yeah.
Freedom. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you did that. Yep.
All right. Cool. All right, cool. So hope that answers the third party ISA question. But yeah, I scaled so quickly with Instagram DMs, also LinkedIn outreach. Guys, don't jump into running ads for client acquisition. It eats into your margins, and you don't need to do that. Like, there's plenty of ways to get new clients that are way less expensive than running ads. Like, you are not ready. You should not be running ads until you're at like 30K a month, in my opinion. You know, some people might have different opinions, but that is,
dude, I totally agree with you. And even like I took consulting.com's course like several years ago. This was after I was, you know, into the business a while anyway. But even he said, like, the number one thing you do is you always test out your messaging organically. Right. You don't spend paid ads until you hit that tuning fork and you're like, hey, anytime I say this thing, it works. Boom. Now I know what my ad copy needs to say when I run an ad. Right. And in the group, I think Lori's here. I think
she said she started, because she was on that last call when I was talking about it. I got hyped for her.
Whenever people ask about like, how should I get like clients? I'm like, dude, do what Alex did or do what Nick did. It's the same thing. It's like, hey, how are we going to, you reach out organically, but you can't do 1 or 2 a day. You got to do like 20, 30, 40 a day over time. And dude, you will crush if you do that.
Right. Absolutely. And the best part about Instagram is it's free. You know, I paid my little cousin $300 a month, and I said, hey, send out 100 DMs a day, just copy and paste it. It would say something along the lines of like, hey, I noticed that you're an insurance broker. Would it be beneficial to add 10 to 15 appointments to your calendar every week or every month? And they would either say yes or no. And, you know, don't be like some people think that they are too good for Instagram DMs. Like, oh, that doesn't work. That's spammy. People are going to tell me that it's spammy and then it's going to hurt my feelings. Who gives a shit? Those people aren't going to buy from you anyway. What do you care? Right? Like, if I message 100 people, I might get some people back who are like, F you, don't send me this bullshit. I don't care about them. Those people aren't going to buy anyway. I'm trying to get to the people who are going to buy. So what do I care what they think? Right? So it seems like it's definitely worked for Lori. That's awesome. Let's see, Pablo, how can I get to know how to do all this? I mean, the lead qualification is good. So, what you're going to do for qualification, I think an easy way is just to do it over the phone, right? And qualifications would be, you know, I don't know. That's more of like a solar niche question. I assume it's done by credits. Like, do they take into consideration credit score? Does anybody know if they take into consideration credit score? So like, for example, with mortgage, when you buy a house, you need above a 640 credit score. So that's one of the questions that we ask to qualify them more, right? How quickly are you willing to move? Those are important questions that you can ask. You could have the ISA to ask, or you can just put a survey into a funnel and have them fill out the questions on the survey. But if you don't know how to do that, I would just manually have somebody ask the questions. Gemma, to answer your question, you signed up a couple of clients, but don't. So here's the best part about GHL. If you go into the GHL community, depending on what niche you're in, just put in the post. Let's say if you're in real estate, say, hey, does anybody have a real estate snapshot that I could use? I'll buy it off you. Somebody will just give you their snapshot. You can literally just upload it into GHL. You don't have to create your own. That's the best part about GHL. You can trade follow-up systems with other people. So if you find somebody who runs a successful agency, it's like, oh, the follow-up's already built in. I know it's world-class. I don't have to worry about it. To answer your question, Gemma, what do you do with people who say yes? Do you still do your live webinar, or could the leads be sent to a pre-recorded webinar? Never do a pre-recorded webinar if you haven't done a webinar live for at least 6 months. You want to perfect it live, because when you perfect it live, you are still going to get a lower percentage of closes on pre-recorded webinars. So you really need to master it live before you do any pre-recorded webinar funnel. Me personally, I am going to be doing webinars for a year straight every single week before I ever do what's called an evergreen webinar, which is a pre-recorded webinar funnel. It's like impossible to just do a pre-recorded webinar and expect people to buy it. Should we warm up new accounts? I started with 10 per day for the first week. I'm also posting the IG. Yeah, I mean, listen, the more IG accounts that you have, the better, right? The more messages that you can send out. So you're already on the right track. I didn't even talk about that. Good for you, Lori. I know Amir, instead of asking how much should dentists spend on ads, an easy way to the solution is just to reverse engineer it. How much are Invisalign? How much is it? All you need to do is be under that amount, right? So like, if you're, if it's $4,000, then spend $1,000 on ads and see where that takes you.
Can I
go ahead.
can I add a little bit to that one? Only because like when people talk about like how much money to spend on ad spend, I feel like, and maybe you'll agree with this, I don't know, Alex, from your experience, I'm sure you've had some experience with this as well. Personally, at the beginning of my career, it maybe was harder to ask for $1,500 a month in ad spend. I was like, oh man, that's like a lot of money. It seemed like a lot of money, right? But and I would always have, there's tons of agencies out there that charge like $1,500 as an agency, and then they're like, oh, well, and then it's like $500 for ad spend, right? And back in the day, that did tend to go somewhere with Facebook ads. But today, what I found, and just as I've done this longer, is the less you obligate people, like, or give them expectation of spending on their ad spend, the worse they are, right? The higher their, you just want to train your clients a little bit. And I don't know if that's the right word, but basically just set yourself up to where you're setting real outcomes, like a good expectation, something that you can deliver on, and something that when they, and especially in the context of SaaS, it's like, hey, you're only spending, my SaaS is now up to $697, right? You're only spending $697 a month on this. That means you have a ton of room for ad spend, which is a good thing, obviously. The question is, how much should you spend? The real question is, how much do you want? Because that's the first question, right? So if you want, and for me, I say patients. You know, if you want 10 patients, that's going to cost less than if you want 30. Obviously, that would make sense, right? Oh yeah, that makes sense. So, and then I just walk them through a math. I just say, hey, well, how many do you want? Let's say your first 60 days. Well, you know, 10 patients a month would be good. All right, cool. So 10 patients a month, our average conversion, and then I'll walk them through. I'll say, now these are average numbers. You'll get better over time, but our average numbers, that means you need to spend $40 a day. All right, cool, $40 a day. Now I have something concrete and an expectation in line too, right? So I think you shouldn't feel, and if you feel like, hey, I feel weird asking them to spend more than $1,000 a month. Well, just reverse the conversation. Make it so that the goal of your question, your follow-up question, is to satisfy what their goal is in terms of a result. How many solar leads do you want per month? How many X leads do you want per month? And then, okay, great. Average lead cost is like $23. So it's just simple math. That's what I do. And just, again, the tone, the approach, the frame that you use is all just very matter of fact, you know, passive. And I always answer the question and then chase it with a question, right? Meaning, like, Alex, if Alex, ask me just a short question about whatever, and I'll give you a blunt answer.
How much is it?
How much is it? Awesome. Okay, that's very broad. I did terrible direction on.
How many leads should I expect?
All right, that's a good question. Well, based on, you know, your goals, how many patients do you actually want? Now, I know you probably want 1 million, but let's say your first 60 days, you're looking to get something more, you know, doable, realistic, based on your practice where you're at.
I don't know, 5 deals a month.
Okay. Then I would walk him through the math. But as soon as I walked him through the math, I'd say, so 10 patients is what you were looking for. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, awesome. In your practice, do you have the team, the infrastructure to be able to follow up with 100 leads or whatever it is? I don't let that question end with dead space. I chase it with the question. That way I can take back control of the call and direct it towards the end of the call. Does that make sense?
Right.
Anyway, back to you, buddy.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, guys, like a few tips, especially when you're talking about selling a product. Okay, it goes introduction and qualifying questions. Qualifying questions are really important because the qualifying questions are going to set you up for success later on. So when I have a demo with somebody, I'll always ask them, how many deals are you doing per month right now? And they'll say like 5. And I'll say, okay, how long have you consistently been doing 5 deals? And they'll say 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And I'll say, whoa, wow. Listen, 6 months, that's a long time, right? So it seems like you've been pretty content doing 5 deals a month. What switched for you? What's changed? What's making you get on this call? And the answer to that question is their why, which is very powerful, right? So if he says, well, you know, my daughter's going to college soon, I need extra money. Okay. At the end of the call, when I'm presenting it, I'm like, and then I'm going to bring up his daughter and I'm going to say, hey, now, you know, you're going to be able to afford your daughter's education, right? So I'm going to tie that stuff back in. But then I ask, how many deals would you like to be doing within the next 90 days? And let's say they say 10, right? They said 5 before, now it's 10. It's like, okay, so you're doing 5 right now. You want to be doing 10. What do you think your biggest challenge is in helping you get that's stopping you from getting there? What's your biggest challenge stopping you from getting from 5 where you are now to 10 to where you want to go? And they're going to tell you their biggest pain point, which is important because you got to focus on that, right? Oh, well, you know, I'm just not getting the lead flow that I should be or in order to get me 10 deals a day. Okay, good. So we're going to focus on lead flow on this call, right? So when you're asking those questions, those are really important questions. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. How many deals are you doing? How long have you been consistently doing that many deals? Where do you want to be within the next 90 days? How many deals do you want to be doing within the next 90 days? Right? And then what has been your biggest hurdle from getting you from the deals that you're doing now to the deals that you want to be doing? All of those questions are important because it gets them thinking too, right? It's like, oh man, this has been a pain in the ass. And you're right. I have been just doing nothing about this problem for the past 5 months. This is my opportunity to actually do something about it, right? So those are the ways that you can certainly set yourself up for success later on in the call. Let's see what else we got here. I think with a SaaS, at this point, it's just support, VAs for support. If you have a good onboarding and you have a good sales pitch, a good webinar, whatever it is, then the less help you're like, we need to make everything, the expectations crystal clear. We need to make our course crystal clear. That's literally why, like, if I was just selling a software, I would be screwed. I wouldn't be able to be on this call because I'd be busy taking a bunch of support calls from my clients. The reason I don't take support calls from my clients is because I have a video course that walks them through everything. They don't need me, right? That's the idea. Because with a SaaS, it's how quickly can we get them up and running? How quickly can we get them from zero to that aha moment? Because once they're able to run leads or run ads on their own with ease, there's no reason for them to ever pay a lead generation company again, which means they're going to be sticky, right? Why pay somebody to do the same thing that I can do with a couple clicks of a button, right? So I think it's important to supplement your software with a course that walks them through the setup. That's going to help you. Should you have support? Yes. We have a Facebook group where people can type in questions, but we also, instead of having 24/7 support, we do coaching calls every Tuesday and Thursday at noon. So it's like, hey, if somebody hits me up on a Monday, hey, I need help. It's like, cool, man, just hop on the coaching call tomorrow. I'm not giving you one-on-one support. Not for $150 a month. Are you crazy? Like, you think I'm going to give you support for $150 a month and you're getting the software and you're getting the course? Hell no. And I will literally say that to them. We had a coaching call on Thursday and some guy was like, if I can't get this set up by Tuesday, I'm going to cancel. And in front of everybody. And I literally said, actually, I'll take care of that for you right now. I'll take care of that for you right now. Like, hey, guys. And then I said, hey, guys, just so you guys know, you are paying $150 a month for the software. That's what you're paying. And it's a great deal because it comes with a funnel. It comes with a follow-up system. It comes with the ability to run ads. If I mapped out the cost of all of that, the cost of ClickFunnels alone is $200. You're getting all this stuff for $150. I go, you know what you're not paying for? These coaching calls. These coaching calls are complimentary. So if you think that I'm going to be taking time out of my day because you're struggling with whatever you can't figure out that the other 60 people in this community were able to figure out, we don't need you. Like, I do not work for you. And I literally was saying it just like this in my coaching call. And the comments were just so funny. They flamed this guy. They're like, no, we appreciate you, Alex. Thank you so much. They're so appreciative when you frame it like that. It's like, hey, you are not paying for my services. You're paying for this software. I'm simply helping you for free. And now they attach that value to where now they're like, oh man, I'm getting such a great deal. Look at, I'm getting all of this stuff plus consulting. Like, this is crazy. So, we have very rarely have anyone cancel. And if they do cancel, it's people who never completed the course. The people who cancel are the people who never completed the course. The people who complete the course, they stay. I'm not going to say forever because we haven't been in business that long, but they haven't left yet. Let's see. What software extensions would you say recommend with UpHex, GHS SaaS? I don't know anything about Pro Tools or Extendedly, but I did send Sam a video. I know Sam is going to look at that and he's going to be like, oh shit, I definitely need to show people this. But basically what it does is it is in GHL, when they sign in, a pop-up bubble will appear with instructions and just show them everything, like walk them through their entire setup, which is awesome. So I'm sure he will show you guys that. I want to get him to approve it first. And I don't know if it's a good fit. I think it's a good fit, but he's going to know. That's right. Ahmed, you hit the nail on the head. It's called user flow. And it is badass. User flow, that's what it's called. And it's awesome. So you do get a free trial period. I think it's like a 2-week trial period. Then after that, it is a little expensive. It's about $200 a month. But here's the thing. You shouldn't be doing it at the beginning anyway. You should be doing it when you're getting in new clients that like onboarding isn't a problem for you right now. You should manually onboard these people if you're getting a couple clients here and there. When you start getting 40 clients a month, then use user flow. And if you're getting 40 clients a month, you'll have the capital to spend $200 a month. No, I don't, Lori. I don't have a setup fee. We are thinking about implementing one, but my whole strategy on my SaaS is make it extremely low ticket, extremely low barrier to entry, get a bunch of people indoctrinated, make them fall in love. And then 6 months from now, double the price on them when they're already making money. So that's the idea behind this, kind of doing a slingshot approach, if you will. Extendly and HL Pro Tools. That's cool. Yeah, I saw user flow. I'm sure there are different ones out there. Cool.
Let me jump in here real quick. So
yeah.
I think, so user flow, Alex, I'm excited now. I got everybody jumping in saying this. So I'll take a look.
You got to check it out. The 5-minute mark in that video, it's so badass.
Yeah, I'll watch it right after we're done here. But I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, there are some things that need to be done by people, right? So you've got processes and then you've got systems, right? So a system can be run by a machine, it can be run by a person. That's totally fine. But efficiency is like the number one thing. Efficiency, time, money. The better you are at that, the more money you're going to make. HL Pro Tools is awesome, as you guys know. They're like a preferred partner with UpHex, and the reason they're a preferred partner is because UpHex embeds directly into GHL. Okay, so GHL is like a foundational part of being able to offer like Facebook ad SaaS, being able to offer like UpHex. And so a lot of times what we find is it's not UpHex that keeps you guys from getting the results. It's some of the foundational just knowledge and functionality of high level. Now, I will say a lot of you guys really try and do too much in high level too quickly. You really just need the basic functions. But if you need help integrating all those things, making sure everything is working, if you want like person chat support. So Alex, if Alex has people like a chat widget in his SaaS platform and people are asking questions, well, just plug HL Pro Tools into there and they can answer the questions for you, both for GHL and now with UpHex as well. So that's why they're good, like chat support. They can do one-on-one video support with you. So if you're working on something, you're like, oh, dude, I don't want to like go and do all the research on how to figure out how to do, I don't know, something like what do you call it? Like the pay link or whatever. Then just say, hey, ask them, they'll do it. And so they do have a function, but everybody has like a piece, right? And one of the things you'll find out is the longer you do this, you need to reevaluate what you have like every 30, 60, 90 days, because it's super easy to like buy stuff and then be like, oh man, look back and be like, I've got like $4,000 worth of SaaS products here, right? What do I need? What should I actually be getting better at so I don't need this anymore, right? So HL Pro Tools, they're awesome if the situation is right. I have crap, what's Pete's company's name? I can never remember it. geez. Anyway, but it's like a hire concierge employee thing. I don't want to take the time to hire certain positions, so I have Pete do it for me. And it's awesome. I can plug and play. He recruits them, manages them, trains them, and the fee is silly. I mean, I'm paying the same amount for a really good employee. So anyway, this is all to say, I'm excited to check out UserFlow. I'll definitely check it out. If it's a value add, you guys will hear about it from me in the group. You'll hear about it from Alex in the group. But we got to be focused on our prospects. Like what do they need to get the outcome, and reverse engineer what we provide to get that outcome. So anyway.
Yeah. Anytime you can reverse engineer the math. So for example, I know I was in the mortgage niche, and I know that a mortgage broker makes about $3,000 on a loan. So I would ask them, like, all right, well, what's your conversion percentage? And they would say, oh, 1 million, 3 million, right? I'm the best mortgage broker in the country. Okay, great. So if I give you 100 leads and you close 20% of them, that's 20 loans. What's 20 loans times $3,000 on a loan, which is your commission, the average commission? That's $60,000, right? So you can kind of like paint the picture for them, and you're not promising that. They told you what their closing percentage was. So that's the number that you use, right? Like, hey, look, and hey, don't get your hopes up. I know you said you're great, but $60,000, even if we hit half of that or 10% of that, you're going to get an ROI, right? So as long as you're half as good as you say you are, the math makes sense. And the good thing about math is it's the language of logic, reason, and fact, right? It's not vague. It's just math. So if you can reverse engineer it, it's good to know how much your prospect makes on a loan, or on a deal rather, sorry, right? How much money do you make off every deal? What's the average? Okay. If this is the average, that means if we get you 100 leads and you close 10% of them, that's this many leads, or, that's 10 leads. 10 leads times, you said you make $5,000 on a deal, that's $50,000 ROI if you're closing at 10%, right? So when you reverse engineer that for them, it's like indisputable. It's just math, right? So anytime you could reverse engineer the math, it's a very powerful thing. Are there any other questions? Because I'm knocking some out in this chat. Any other questions, guys? I have a few. I missed most of the call. Oh, Jesse, people like you are my favorite. I have my coaching calls, and like somebody will come in the last like 10 minutes. But slow onboarding or fast onboarding, I think you're looking at it wrong. Your focus should be not whether it's fast or slow, just how quickly not whether it's fast or slow, but how clear is it? How clear is my onboarding? Yes, Jesse, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to ask like things that probably were already covered. So
That's okay.
You tell me if it was covered or not. I kind of just popped in when they were talking about like giving the course and that kind of a thing, like when they're onboarding and making sure that they go through it. And I've done that. I've put together a course where people are supposed to always go through it, but not everybody like goes through it. Kind of probably what you experience a little bit,
You got to make it mandatory. You got to let them know, like, hey, you got like, do you have a SaaS?
Yeah, I'm just launching it now. I have like more of an agency that I'm transitioning into SaaS now.
Got it. Yeah. So for us, what we sell, in fact, is we almost put the course first. It's like, hey, we're not selling you the software, we're selling you the course. Because now if you position it like that, it's like, okay, this is what I bought, I'm going to take the course. But if you say I'm selling you a software and here's a course just to supplement, they're not going to focus on this, they're going to focus on this. You want them to focus on the course. So say you're selling the course. So you could sell a course for $20,000 if you want, right? Like, I'm building a course out on how to sell agency services. I'm going to be charging like 10 to 20K for that course. So you can charge whatever you want for the course. I recommend selling the course and saying the software is like the tool that you use in this course. You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
position the course in front of that.
Is that how you position it?
Yeah,
Or
yes. Well, that's what we did at the beginning. And at the beginning, we were charging $2,497 up front and $300 a month. And then I was like, well, listen, we're making more money, but we're getting less people in. And I was more concerned with my monthly recurring revenue. How much stable income do we have? I don't care if I could make $50,000 in a month. I already have money. I just want to build this the right way, slowly, steady. So we switched it and we did low ticket. It's like you're getting this software that, you know, hey, I made my agency. I built my agency to $500,000 a month using this software. And I didn't know, and I had zero marketing experience. You can do it too, right?
yeah, I like that angle.
So that's awesome. The most cost-effective way, you're not going to have to pay for UpHex templates. They're already in there. Go ahead. Do you have any other questions, Jesse?
I was gonna ask a question around, because I know you're doing like you're still doing webinars and stuff like that. I haven't really put on paid ads yet, but I just wanted to ask you a question because I know you mentioned about like cold DMing through IG. That's like how you built it up. I'm just starting to test some things with my VA, and I actually use some automations through High Level. Like if people like reply with FB, that they'll actually get like the link to the landing page and everything. But I just wanted to ask you, like, what was like, I guess, like your strategy around that, and in the context of what you were somewhat messaging them, and then like what were you leading them to? Was it like a landing page or a booked call? Like what were you doing?
I would book a call with them like right in the conversation. So I would not like send them a link to a calendar for them to do it themselves. General rule of thumb: whenever you leave somebody to do it themselves, especially on sales calls, always ask for the card on the call. Have them fill out the contract on the call with you. I guarantee if you don't, they will not sign up. You leave it up to them, they'll never do it. So it's the same thing with these. It's like, I'll just say, what time works for you? And then they'll tell me the time and I'll say, okay, I got you booked at this time. That's it. Like, I got you booked at this time. What's your email? Okay, I'll send you a calendar invite. That's it. Like, you do everything for them. You don't give them the opportunity to run away or ghost you.
Right. It's funny because I do that for another business of mine, and I don't know why I didn't think about doing it the exact same way for this, but
right. Yep. It's a good way to do it. Do you have any other questions?
I mean, I'm testing different, exactly what I'm saying to people. I'm curious, like, if you have like some like insight into what you're saying to people.
I send them my offer. So like if my offer was like, hey, can I add 10 appointments a month to your, you know, like, would it be beneficial if I could add 10 appointments a month to your pipeline? Right.
Sure.
Something simple like that, because it's easy to copy and paste. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just typing their first name in. Hey, John. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Paul. Paste, paste. Right. So
cool.
I just type their first name in, paste it, good to go.
And then, so you don't offer, like, I know you're at low ticket right now. So you don't offer any like help with the, you know, getting onboarded really, or anything like that, right? It's just all them doing it themselves.
Offer it. We're trying to be, trying to deliver a good customer service, but we don't offer it. We don't say, hey, you get 24/7 support. Like, imagine if you got 24/7 support with this.
Yeah.
$150 a month. Like, get out of here, dude.
I'm more like saying like if, I don't know, because I've listened to some other, you know, people that have like big SaaS companies with High Level right now, not necessarily with UpHex, but some are, some aren't. But
you definitely need it for a bigger, like with us. And I straight up say this. I go, hey, look, for $150 a month, we can't afford support right now, guys. If you guys want 24/7 support, bring me customers.
I guess what I'm getting at is more like, do you think you might add this, or like just as like just to get them up and running kind of a thing, like offer an additional like thing that they could purchase to get up and running without the core, like help them get up and running kind of a thing?
Yeah. I think a course takes care of all of that.
I do too.
If you do your course correctly, then that should help them get up and running. And then, you know, what we do is we don't have 24/7 support, but we have coaching calls every Tuesday and Thursday at noon. So now I don't have to help people one-on-one. It's like, if you need help, show up
just
to the
come to the lives. Yeah. That's a good point.
We'll let you share your screen and we'll walk you through it. Right. But they also have something else that Sam's going to let you guys, is user flow or whatever the hell that was, is awesome. it's great for onboarding as well. So no, we do not offer an onboarding call. That would be a pain in the ass. And they don't.
Yeah, I'm offering that right now, and I might take that away now.
I think it's a lot based on your model, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Alex's model, Alex has got a long-term vision and strategy on what he's doing, and totally makes sense, right? I do offer a onboarding call, but I'm also charging $697 DIY, right?
Yeah, it's a big difference.
I can totally do it. And by the way, don't quote me on the price because I can't remember what it is right now, and I'm sitting watching whales breach. You guys, what's up? Anyway, but HL Pro Tools will man your customer support chat for something silly like starting out. It's, geez, I can't even remember. I want to say it's like $297 a month, but it's like
you
unlimited.
can outsource support.
It's $290. Yeah, HL Pro Tools is $297 a month for it's unlimited support, but it's email only.
Here's what
but these guys respond usually in like 10 minutes. So
here's what I realized, Sam, is that support is only for GHL. And in my course specifically, where people have most of their issues, especially when it comes to setting up UpHex, is when they're building out their Facebook business page or their Facebook pixel.
Yeah.
And that's where they need the most support. And it's unfortunate
because,
right. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because those type of support companies can't help with that. So we're trying to figure out a way to make it way easier. Like, we are redoing the Facebook ads part of our course to make it much easier. Another thing that you can use is it's called Tango for SOPs. And basically, if you do a screen recording of walking you through it, Tango will literally like write out step by step what you're doing.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Screenshots. It's really, really cool. We used it for our agency, so we're going to use a combination of Tango and Facebook ads, and we think that should. I'm sorry, and redo the course at the Facebook ad section. And we think that that'll solve the problem. You're always got to be improving your course, always, because people are going to literally be like, hey, I got stuck here. When our general rule of thumb is if two people get stuck, it's like, okay, this can be improved, and let's remake it.
I will say, one thing. So it is based on the model, right? And so have a strategy in place. But when I first met Alex, he walked me through a bunch of stuff. But one thing that I absolutely loved, and you may have talked about this on our last call, was just the way he does his courses. And like when I think of a course, excuse me, I mean, even the way I personally put out courses, like I just put out like, hey, this is a 10-minute video, watch it or don't. And his course, the entire course is 2 hours, isn't it, Alex?
It's an hour.
Okay, yeah, it's an hour. I mean, geez, even shorter. So, and then the whole point is the videos are like 1 minute to 2 to 3 minutes. And so you're progressing through all of these things, doing the action items. He's got it like halfway through. So you guys, you're only talking about friggin' 30 minutes. He's got like a video that's like, hey, you're doing great, keep going, right? So back to, I think it was Jesse that was asking about slow boarding versus just what, regular fast onboarding. I talk about slow onboarding within the context of I'm selling my model sells it for $697. We do an onboarding call. Now we've even changed that since. I have a video that plays during my onboarding call. It's 10 minutes long, but they're on with my support agent while he's setting stuff up, making sure everything's good. They're watching a video, and that video is framing them. Once again, I did, if the sales guy did his job right, he framed them on the call. If he's doing a demo, or even if they came on through a webinar, they're just reframing them for, what are we doing? Like, why are you here? This has got to be different than something you've done before. And I can't do that without telling you once again what the purpose is, right? So the beautiful question, or the beautiful thing about this business, any business, is whenever somebody tells you that they have the answer, that's not true. This is all based on fundamentals, on psychology, right? So you look at your dynamic, your scenario, and just like Alex just said, if he has two people reaching out with the same problem, okay, my model is throwing up a red flag right here. What do we want to do about this? What's the best source? And by the way, the best way to solve problems is always upstream. do something upstream so we can, you know, make it so this problem doesn't happen. Not, hey, we're going to add something onto this. Okay, what can we take away or change upstream from this so it doesn't become an issue? But yeah, I mean, your model, just look at your model. HL Pro Tools, just again, they are awesome at high level. They're also getting awesome at UpHex, right? But Alex is right. They're not going to do onboarding for you, right? So if you have a clunky, you know, Frankenstein system, it's going to be, onboarding is going to be challenged until you figure that out. I'm going to show you guys our onboarding process in the future, actually within like a couple of weeks. So we'll show you that. But again, it's based on my model, you know? So, and, you know, I share a lot very transparently. Alex is sharing a lot very transparently, but we're doing it based on our model. So I hope that what you're taking away is not, hey, okay, that's how Sam does it. That's how I'm going to do it. I hope you're like, oh, my model is different because I'm going with this. I can take this, I can take that, I can take this. The thing I'm trying to figure out and still trying to do, Alex, is my 1-minute courses. And we're actually putting it together. But I think that was probably one of the coolest things when I saw your platform. I'm like, dude, that's a G move right there. That is awesome. So anyway, this has been awesome, dude. I appreciate you doing this. And you guys, Alex will be on in the future. I'm not going to promise anything from him, but he was telling me something about webinars. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Because he's a gangster at webinars. I've been doing webinars a long time and love them. You know, they're a great way to grow your business, to scale your business. And Alex, I appreciate you doing this, man.
Thank you, guys. My pleasure being here. Good luck
Awesome,
to everybody.
awesome. Yeah, there will be a replay of this. Alex, you're the boss, and appreciate everybody for coming. And
Jesse, it looks like you're gonna have a really fun weekend this weekend, so enjoy that.
I always get that comment like all the time. It's good though. It lightens up the mood.
Yeah.
cool.
Do you mind if I ask you one last question before we hop
sure.
off? Just because you mentioned it, and it's literally like my bottleneck right now with the Facebook pages. It's something that like I've been I actually asked about with Forrest Adset last time because he was talking about this, but he seems to create pages for people sometimes and just ask for their email, like if they haven't created a page, because I think I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, we've thought about doing that. There's something called Leadsly, and Leadsly will allow you to get access to their Facebook credentials pretty easily. I don't know what the implications are. The only risk that I see is, like, let's say if their ad account gets shut down, it could affect the other ad accounts that you're associated with. I don't know for sure. That's a theory from one of my employees. We're investigating to see if that's the case. But if it's not the case, Leadsly is easy because then you could just have a VA set that stuff up for them, right? And take off. Again, you got to be careful. Leadsy, that's right, Leadsy. You got to be careful. You don't want to do you want to make it easy for them, but you don't want to do everything for them where they expect you to do everything for them. So there's a balance.
I just have like some clients, like I'm literally about to go on a call like in like half an hour with somebody because they've been procrastinating. They have the system for like almost 2.5 weeks and they haven't even launched anything because they're like trying to think of a name for their Facebook page. Where I'm just like,
are you serious?
Come on, guys. Like,
that's ridiculous.
Let's get on a call. Like I'll get you, like I want to get you up and running. But like that's kind of just how I'm feeling about like, you know, certain situations, but I don't want to have to do that with everybody. So
yeah, totally understand. Yeah, no, I get it. I that's funny. Yeah, you know, and that's a common, you should just kind of relate to them and just say, hey, you know, that's a common issue with agency owners. They focus on what the name of their agency is going to be rather than just getting going, right?
Yeah.
So you know, don't worry about that. And you could change the name later anyway, I'm pretty sure, right?
That's what I told them. That's why I was like, look, I'll slap something together, send me your Facebook email, I'll make you admin, and I think that's all you need. So I don't know. I might have to like redo that part of my course to like tell people like stop procrastinating on the damn name of your Facebook page. Just get something up and running.
Yeah. Well, good luck, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody. And hey, here's my recommendation also. Last thing before I go, guys. If you're selling your agency services, don't be lazy. Make a pitch deck. put people through demos. A lot of people are visual learners, and you're ignoring that audience. You're missing out on all those sales by not doing a pitch deck. So that's the last thing that I'll leave you guys with. But I'm sure I will see you guys again in the future. Sam, thanks for having me, man. And it was awesome talking to you guys.
Appreciate you, Alex. Thanks, buddy.